Shaheen of New Hampshire, one of the 7 women on the Armed Services Committee. Senator, it's great to have you with me. Let's look at these numbers here, because these are just the numbers that we know of the recorded infractions of sexual abuse. 6.1% of women, 1.2% of men on active duty experienced some kind of unwanted sexual activity. From what you've learned so far and having the Joint Chiefs there, are they listening to your concerns?
Well, I think there have been a number of efforts to address this issue in the military, but the question is, what more should be done? And those statistics you quoted were from a recent report that showed that the number of sexual assaults in the military have actually gone up since the last reporting period to about over 26,000, and of those, fewer than 3,500 actually reported the sexual assault. And when asked why they didn't report it, 50% said because they didn't think anything would be done, and 47% said they feared retribution. So clearly something is not working, and we need to take some additional action.
Well, today on Morning Joe, NBC Chief Pentagon Correspondent Jim Leszewski described what happened when he sat in on a sexual assault trial, how the verdict came down. I want to play that for everybody. Take a listen.
Because of this individual's rank, his years of service, and his stellar record, the jury was instructed to give more credence to his testimony than the victim's. If you're a victim, you've got to be sitting there and going, what? I wasted my time here.
It seems generally outbalanced here, and your colleague, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, proposing major changes to military policy, basically taking sexual assault investigations out of the commander's hands, and the Joint Chiefs and the key hawks in the Senate are opposed to that and say it undermines the commanders. So what is the solution to find the middle ground where where justice can be received for victims who are seeking it?
Well, I think there's been some misrepresentation of Senator Gillibrand's bill, because there are a number of military-only offenses that are taken out of her bill so that would still give the commander the ability to deal with those issues, just as they always have. And the fact is, we've got some other militaries around the world, England and Israel, that no longer have this kind of convening authority. So I think it's one of the things we need to look at, but there are a whole range of other efforts that we also need to look at. One of the bills that I've sponsored is one that would say that those sexual assault prevention response personnel, the people who are chosen to do that job to address sexual assault in the military, should be nominated, because we've had several scandals in recent months that have those people responsible for addressing sexual assault being accused of sexual assault themselves. So we've got to look, I think, at a whole range of issues to address this problem.
Well, it seems like it is the tip of the iceberg when we hear about the types of cases where the people that are supposed to be the trusted person, the trusted source, where people can come forward and report sexual abuse, to find out that that person is abusing that trust and that position. It's terribly egregious and certainly upsetting to so many. But do we look at enough international examples, as you point out, where the system is working for men and women in the military to work side by side without having this type of behavior? Can't we use those examples better here at home?
Well, I think so. We have, as a result of the last defense bill that was passed last year, we created a commission to take a look at this issue and to make recommendations. I hope they will expedite their response and give us their recommendations as soon as possible. And I was really pleased this morning to hear General Dempsey talk about being open to a variety of measures to try and address this challenge, because certainly the people in charge of our military understand this is a scourge that is not good for anybody serving in the military, and it doesn't just apply to women. The fact is, the raw numbers show that more men are sexually assaulted in our military than women, and the men on the Senate Armed Services Committee understand that as well.
Well, at a Rhodes Force Readiness